everyone. How are you guys doing? Welcome to the yet another edition of Nakshebaazi. But mixed emotions are, you know, we are nearing the end of this wonderful series, and I don't know, somewhere I'm happy that, you know, I'll be done with this series. But on the other hand, I would also probably miss, you know, this interaction with you guys. I'm dead sure about that as well. But I'm sure in some other form, फिर से टकराएंगे कहीं ना कहीं, right? Let's proceed and have a look at today's theme. What I have in mind for you is something really quite fascinating. It is the three Anglo-Burman wars that I intend to talk about with you people. The wars between Britain and the Burmese Empire. We will look at them, and we will see how from the perspective of India that was important as well. So a topic which is associated with not only our modern history, it also associated with the world history in a sense, right? So let's proceed. This is the coat of arms for the Ahom Dynasty, the Ahoms of Assam, right? These are the Ahoms, right? They are spread somewhere like this. Okay? They are the Ahoms. So we are being informed that these Burmese, right, they are a very aggressive power. In fact, if you look at it in 1813 itself, they got hold of Manipur. Between 1817 to 1826, they attacked the Ahoms thrice and briefly even annexed it for 4 years. These are known as Manor Din in you know, Ahom history, Assam's history, and they are remembered with horror because of the kind of torture, war crimes which must have been committed, right? So they, the Burmese, they capture Manipur, they capture Ahom, Assam as well, briefly. And this right here is British India. Calcutta, Chittagong, right? They were not very happy with such an aggressive power here. This is the name of the dynasty that was sitting on the throne of Burma. They had captured Arakan as well in 1785. Arakan, which is the modern day Rakhine. Right? Modern day Rakhine. This is a region which is a lot in news. Right? पता करेंगे, जानने की कोशिश करेंगे. I believe Rohingya, right? वो जो शरणार्थियों की पूरा समस्या है, that somewhere is associated with this geography. Fascinating, right? So Arakan, इसको भी इन्होंने बर्मा वालों ने बेटे अनेक्स किया हुआ था. They had annexed this as well, Manipur as well, Assam as well. Right? Naturally, as you can expect, rebel groups were formed in these regions. Manipur, Assam, Arakan. Rebel groups were formed, and these rebel groups would often cross borders to Bengal, which was owned by East India Company. East India Company often gave them help as well. They would regroup and relaunch an attack. At one point of time, the Arakanese patriots, they even captured the capital of the province with the help of EIC. So do you realize what kind of tense situation on the border must have prevailed? Right? This is a very interesting fellow. He is called as a Maha Bandula, right? He's considered the main person who was behind this aggressive expansionist policy of Burma. He was the commander-in-chief of Burmese army. And he is portrayed in their current history as well as a national hero. Right? How do you see how perception of history differs? Right? He was the main proponent of expansionist policy. Dekho, ek inka ye representation, and this is one representation which is very popular in the modern nation के जो कॉन्टेक्स्ट में हिस्ट्री इवॉल्व हो रही है. A small brief timeline for you, right? The first Anglo-Burmese War, ये है बच्चे, 1824 to 1826. Second one, 1852, April 1852 से लेके January 1853. The third one, November 1885. Just the next month, by the way, December में बॉम्बे में मिलकर के 72 delegates they established INC. Just few days after the third Anglo-Burmese War. And by the end of these three wars, Britain had managed to establish its hegemony, complete control, dominance over Bay of Bengal. Right? Let's find out how. So let's take up the first battle, right? 1824 to 26. The causes, as I was telling you, right? A lot of refugees, rebels, they kept crossing border. And the Burmese would often get inside the border as well while chasing these rebels away. So in such a situation, the conflict was bound to happen. And finally, in 1824, we are being informed that under Lord William Amherst's, he was the Governor General at this point of time, Governor General of Fort Williams. So under his orders, the forces of East India Company, they captured the Rangoon, city of Rangoon, right here. Right, this is Irrawaddy River, the Irrawaddy River of Burma. Burmese offered very stiff resistance, as you can see. 2 साल तक लड़ाई खींची रही, 1824 to 26. At every step, Burmese offered very brave resistance. In fact, in 1825, in one of the battles, Bandula died while fighting. But finally, they were about to reach Ava. Ava was the capital, Mandalay. Right, so they are about to reach Ava, and at that point of time, Burmese surrendered, and a very important treaty called as Treaty of Yandabo was signed. This is the treaty which gave Assam and Manipur to East India Company as a protectorate. तो एक तो ये इसका बहुत बड़ा महत्व है अपने संदर्भ में, right? Another point that you should keep in mind here is that British victory, it was a result of the massive resources which they were able to pump in the war from India. More than 15,000 fatalities, mostly Indian, and countless Burmese died. This is considered as the most costly war the Britishers fought on the Indian soil. Right? This is considered as the most costly war. Right? They were able to, because of the, consistent support from Calcutta, Chittagong, they were able to maintain this campaign for 2 rainy seasons. Big deal. So according to this treaty, the Burmese agreed to give up Assam, Manipur, Arakan. They also gave up Arakan, and they also gave Tain Thinai, which is a Tenasserim. ये मैंने गलत pronounce किया है. Tanin Thai है. Tanin Thai, yes. Tanin Thai, which is now known as Tenasserim. मैं आपको एक map दिखा देता हूँ. I think that will help. Assam and Manipur, I'm sure you understand. This is Arakan and this is Tenasserim. All this region was given to EIC after Treaty of Yandabo, first war. ठीक है? Okay. The kingdom was also supposed to pay £1 million as indemnity. £1 million. Right? It was the longest and most expensive war in British Indian history. Longest and most expensive war. The high cost of the campaign, which was around £13 million, approximately $1.1 billion in current terms. इतना पैसा इन्होंने खर्चा किया था बच्चे उस जमाने में. It is primarily because of this reason their finances were ruined, and even the remaining commercial privileges which the East Indian Company enjoyed were taken away in 1833 Charter Act. It is because of all this mess which they created in Burma, the amount of money which they pumped in. Another reason why you should keep this in mind, First Anglo-Burmese War, is because during this war we also hear of Barrackpore Mutiny. Barrackpore Mutiny. In Bengal, there is a small place called Barrackpore. And here, one regiment, right? These regiments were supposed to march all the way to the Burmese borders to fight, because these high caste people who were in the army as sepoys, East Indian Company army, the sepoys, they refused to cross the sea, believing that they will lose their caste. So they were supposed to march. And then they were not having enough, ration, not enough people to carry their ration. Even their salaries, were not, how should I say, there were salary differentials between the troops and the followers. So all that created a mess, and the regiment, it rebelled. There was a mutiny. They refused to accept orders. They all were collected in a circle, and artillery was fired at them. Can you believe it? Many of them fled away. Many of them fled away. Several must have died as well. This Barrackpore Mutiny is considered as dress rehearsal of 1857, because it indicated the same kind of indifference in the British authority, their lack of understanding of Indian concerns. They were unable to understand that what kind of a society is this, right? Let's have a look at the second, war, Second Anglo-Burmese War. This takes place in 1852-53, 5 or 6 months long. इस समय बच्चे Lord Dalhousie, he is in power. He is the Governor General, right? And the war, it goes from 1852 April to January 1853. He has been blamed for undertaking gunboat diplomacy in this war. Some British merchants were complaining that, these royal officers of Burma, they are still harassing us. They are extorting money out of us. We should not be paying it according to, Treaty of Yandabo. Just like they created a mess here in, on the issue of dastaks. So those merchants started complaining, and he sent a lot of gunboats. And these gunboats, they went and started seizing royal cargo. The war was inevitable. Once again, they were humiliated. Burmans were humiliated, defeated. And this time, the pink region, which is called as the Lower Burma, your Rangoon, Pegu, these cities were taken over. These cities were taken over, and only this remained of the massive Burmese kingdom. Right? Finally, the Tatir Aingalyut Myanmar Chait, right? That is the, Burmese. In Burmese, that's how they call it, the Third Anglo-Burmese War. The war took place in November, but sporadic resistance, that continued right till 1887. But in 1885 itself, the war ended, and Upper Burma, the remaining portion, was also captured. This time, what was the context and cause? Pretty straightforward, the way Britishers were looking at it. Very simple to understand. Ye dekho, the French Empire in Southeast Asia, known as Indochina, was expanding. And, they were scared of rising French influence in the Burmese court. The Burmese ministers were in touch with French trying to buy arms. So they did not like it all, right? And in 1885, they simply went to war and captured the remaining as well. Captured the remaining part of Burma as well. The sovereignty for the, throne of Burma ended. Thibaw Min was the last monarch. Thibaw Min was the last monarch. Here he is pictured sitting with him, sitting. This is the king and his two wives, and also his two half sisters. So, like quite a few royal families, they also have that idea of purity of, blood, something of those kinds. And Thibaw Min, he was the last monarch living in the, regal splendor of Oriental monarchies, having no idea how the world is changing. This guy had scores of people on rolls for picking up his slippers, picking up his beetle box. Right? So they were still living in a different kind of times. The irony somewhere should not be lost. Irony should not be lost at all. Just the way the Mughal emperor, the last Mughal emperor, Bahadur Shah Zafar, he had been, his bags have been packed up and he had been sent to Burma. Similarly, this fellow, his bags were packed and he was made to sit on a bullock cart and he was sent to Ratnagiri, Maharashtra, to live in this place jiska salute aap shayad dekh pa rahe hain background mein. Right? This is where he lived the last of his life. These are the two last pictures of these two gentlemen. This is Bahadur Shah Zafar in last of his days. And this is Thibaw Min, the last of the Burmese monarch, right? And after this, Burma became a part of India, and it remained a part of India till 1937. In 1937, it was given a status of a separate colony, right? So this is what I had in mind that I wanted to discuss with you people. God bless you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.